Up next, we've got John Coghlan, Manager of Community and Developer Evangelism at GitLab. We're going to talk about DevOps and remote, a perfect pairing. So in the past, tech teams were often siloed not only by what they worked on, but by where they actually worked, right? Where they actually sat physically every day. And over the last decade, and particularly the past 5 years, particularly the past 2 years, DevOps and remote work have really changed a lot, right? The silos have shifted, have broken down, have rebuilt, they've been transformed. And they've thus transformed how software gets delivered. So in this talk, John's going to explore how the processes, platforms, the people who deliver software have both been sort of transformed and by and continue to transform how tech teams get things done. Take it away, John.
I'm grateful to be here with this inspiring community today. My family and I have been praying for Ukraine and its people and will continue to do so. That said, we're here to talk about DevOps, so let's get to it. When I first joined GitLab and everyone wanted to know what it was like, my answer was that it felt like we were working in the future. We work completely in the open, posting our meetings on YouTube. We have an all-remote team, and we use GitLab to build GitLab. Fast forward a few long or short years, depending who you ask. Throw in a pandemic, and well, the world is catching up. The pandemic forced remote work into the mainstream. DevOps has also grown in popularity. It's hard to argue there are two more important trends influencing how teams deliver software over the last 5 years. At GitLab, I've been sitting squarely at the intersection of these two trends. So what have I learned? I learned that DevOps and remote are a perfect pair. When you think of famous pairings or couples, what do you think of? Some of the more refined folks here might think of wine and cheese. Music fans might think of Simon and Garfunkel. Star Wars fans might think of Han Solo and Chewbacca. For me, it's peanut butter and jelly. Whatever pairing first popped into your mind, it's probably something where you enjoy both elements alone, but the combination of the two is even better. Does anyone know what this is called when two things combined work better together? It's a common and cringy business buzzword. Synergy. Yup, synergy. Synergy is defined as the interaction or cooperation of two or more organizations, substances, or other agents to produce a combined effect greater than the sum of their separate effects. DevOps and remote have synergy. Each is great on its own, but together they work even better. DevOps and remote complement each other so well for two reasons. They both focus on helping people work together more efficiently, and they both rely on a strong culture to deliver improved results. I can almost hear the groans through the screen right now. A culture talk? No! Just hear me out. If you can get this right, you can make work better for everyone on your team. Who doesn't want that? So how do we unlock these two superpowers? Today we'll cover 3 critical elements to unlocking the synergies of remote and DevOps: process, tooling, and culture. Let's start with process. In DevOps and remote, your process sets the foundation for the other 2 elements, tooling and culture. How you work, whether that be defining how remote workers collaborate asynchronously, or how you test and monitor your applications, will help you to understand the tools you need while also defining your culture. These processes need to be written down, documented so that all team members understand them and even better can contribute to them. Apply the same mindset to how you work as you do to what you're building. Collect small feedback regularly and ship small, frequent improvements. In both DevOps and remote work, tooling is key. Co-located teams can rely on whiteboards and conference rooms, but distributed all-remote teams need software solutions. That could be Google Docs, Slack, GitLab, or other collaboration tools. Similarly, DevOps requires the right software solution to ensure that collaboration is efficient and changes are being shipped regularly. Ultimately, the tooling and the practices you build on sets the foundation for your culture. Culture is your differentiator. To go back to the pear analogy, if tooling is the peanut butter and process is the jelly, culture is the yumminess that happens when you mix the good stuff together. When building a DevOps culture or establishing your remote culture, or ideally doing both, there are a few things you must do to bring out the flavor. You need to be clear on your values, you need to ensure everyone is following the same playbook, and you need to be iterating. Culture is not static, it's dynamic. While things like your values and your mission may not and probably should not change, the way that you communicate, the rituals your team follows, and the tools you use need to evolve with your team. So where does that leave us? Like peanut butter and jelly or Bob and Jerry from the Grateful Dead, remote and DevOps work better together. These cultural foundations improve collaboration and efficiency, make it easier to build diverse teams, and increasingly are baseline requirements in order to attract and retain great people. I can't tell you how many tweets I've seen about people leaving jobs after being asked to return to office. I imagine the same thing would happen for teams who went back to waterfall after getting a taste of DevOps. So what should you do next? Advocate for remote work options in your organization. Strive to develop a culture of collaboration with tooling and processes to support your success with remote and DevOps, and enjoy the rest of this amazing event. I'm John Coghlan. Thank you, and take care.